Howdy there. So, I saw The Trip last night. Really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9. It's about Steve Coogan. Playing Steve Coogan gets an assignment from a magazine to tour restaurants and resorts in the northern half of England. So he cannot get his live-in girlfriend to go with him, so he gets one of his best friends, Rob Brydon, to travel the countryside with him and to go to all these amazing spots. And it's basically a trip of self-discovery, character analysis, you know, basically a talky, heady film. I'm going to give it a 9 just because, for personal reasons, and I thought it was very true. Stars Steve Coogan, Rob Brydon, a couple other people, but it's basically those two. I'm not sure about written, but I think Michael Winterbottom directed it. And I don't think Michael Winterbottom, especially in like this situation, really focuses on a script. I think that he might have an idea in mind, but this is heavily improvised, which is very inspirational to me. Heavily improvised, so again, I'm sure I could say written by Michael Winterbottom. It's definitely directed by him. I like Michael Winterbottom. He makes an eclectic selection of films. A few years ago, he made, I think in 2005, he made Tristram Shandy, a cock and bull story, which I'm trying to remember if I put it number 1 or number 2 in my top 10 of that year. I love that film. Came out of nowhere, had no idea what it was going to be about, and it just knocked me over. It just blew my mind. So I was kind of looking forward to this, and I was not disappointed. The reason I'm not giving it a 10 is it was a little repetitive, slightly boring in that repetition. It's basically driving to a restaurant, eating at that restaurant, having a very deep, soulful conversation at said restaurant, and then going to the hotel, checking in, and going to bed. And then it starts over again. So, and again, it's heavily conversational. A lot of the humor comes from the conversation. So, that repetition may lull you into not thinking about the film. Just an example, towards the end, I started thinking more about my day instead of the film. You know, the escapism wore off a little bit, and I became more focused on what happened that day. And in just a few stolen moments, when I did that, I felt that I missed something. Like, I was like, man, I should have been listening to that conversation because I missed a big character reveal, you know, something I missed. So again, it's a little repetitive. I mean, it demands your focus. So, you know, it's not going to be for everyone. You know, you're gonna have to pay attention to be fully rewarded. But I think you will, and you will be happy. They're playing themselves, versions of themselves, I guess you could say, and both are actors. I don't know, but I would go so far as to call Steve Coogan kind of iconic in Great Britain. Again, I'm not sure. He definitely seems that way. And Rob Brydon is also an actor, a comedian in England. So, their conversations focus on art and the craft of acting. That's very rewarding for me, being an actor. It's like Hollywood loves Hollywood. They love to watch Hollywood. So even if it's like a bad movie about Hollywood, you know, might like it a little more. But this is a good movie about Hollywood, and so Hollywood's going to love it. And I loved it because, again, you've got two professionals on the screen playing acting performance professionals, and they are talking about performing professionally. So it is very rewarding. Maybe it will be too exclusive for some. You know, they won't get it. I could definitely see that. Not me, though. You know, I got it. I got pretty much everything they said, and again, I think that leads to my deep appreciation and my rating of a 9. The acting is great. You know, the acting is great. The cinematography is beautiful. You get to see some gorgeous English countryside here. And you get to see some amazing food. Again, when they go to these dinners, the camera is both in the kitchen and at the table. So you get to see them preparing the meal, the chefs preparing the meal. You get to see the waiter detailed explain the menu in detail. And then you get to see them eat it. And really, seriously, it is like food pornography. You will want to eat after you see this film. I saw The Late Show. I got out at just about midnight, and all I could think about was eating. And I was like, I cannot do this. And really, I had dinner. You know, I had a big dinner. But I was instantly hungry. I wanted to eat so badly. And if you're a foodie, you're going to get off watching this movie. Gorgeous, elegant, and certainly delicious food just fills the screen. Reminded me a lot, the film in itself reminded me a lot of Big Night. If you ever saw I'm not sure who directed it, but Tony Shalhoub, Stanley Tucci, I think Mark Anthony is in there. Some pop stars in there. Ian Holm is in there. Big Night. Big Night is the only film I can think of to compare The Trip to. So if you are a fan of Big Night, you will be a fan of The Trip. Again, I really enjoyed it. Very highly professionally made. Again, the fact that most of it's improvised it speaks to the actors, the power of the actors, the brilliance of the actors. I am intimidated and inspired by it. One, I don't think I could ever do anything like that. You know, I don't see how they do it. You know, the acting is great. The cinematography, the camera work is great. It's not too complicated. You know, it's just pretty, you know, it's pretty straightforward. But really you get to see a lot of gorgeous scenery. And it's well captured. You kind of feel like you're there, even. And then the writing is so true. You know, and that's what I really love best about it, is that all it is an hour and a half character analysis. And you get to know these characters, you get to care for these characters, and you see yourself in these characters. You care about them, you want them to do good and to be better. I don't know what else to say about it other than it was a tremendously good time. Yeah. Again, totally satisfied. Totally satisfied. I'll see it again, I'm sure, someday. You know, I don't feel the need to rush back to the theater. But it was very smart. And it was very true. So I think there can be a lot of wisdom and lessons pulled from it. So I think that's important. A really good movie. I don't know what else to say. I had a great time on The Trip. It's a 9. Thanks.